Coronation Street has revealed a first look at the moment where Dylan Wilson finally accepts responsibility for Betsy Swain's ordeal. Dylan pays an emotional visit to the hospital next week and apologizes to his girlfriend, but will their relationship ever be the same again? Viewers of the ITV soap saw Betsy get rushed to hospital earlier this week, after Ryan Connor found her unconscious at home. Doctors revealed that she'd suffered a stroke due to a blood clot, caused by damage to an artery in her neck. Betsy then revealed that she and Dylan had been experimenting with strangulation during sex, with Corey aiming to raise awareness of the hidden dangers involved. So far, Dylan has stubbornly refused to believe that he could be to blame, and has even suggested that Betsy cheated on him by sleeping with Brody Michaelis. However, after some home truths from Ryan next week, Dylan realizes that it's time to face reality. In a new spoiler clip from Wednesday's, July 22nd, episode, Betsy is visibly moved when Dylan admits that he now knows that he caused her stroke, and he's sincerely sorry for his actions. He begs for a chance to make amends, but they're interrupted when a police officer arrives to take a statement from Betsy following the recent tip-off from her mum, Lisa. Betsy is conflicted about what to do, while Dylan is terrified as he leaves them to have the conversation alone. What will Betsy decide? See the scene below. Corey producer Kate Brooks recently said of the arc, Coronation Street has always pushed boundaries when it comes to telling challenging, thought-provoking stories, and this story is no exception. Shining a light on the dangers of this all-too-common trend, we wanted to chart Betsy and Dylan's story as they navigate the catastrophic implications of a moment of naivety, and the impact not only on them, but also on their families and the wider community. By consulting extensively with IFAS, the Stroke Association and Saphaline, we aim to handle Betsy's journey with the care and sensitivity it deserves while sparking a difficult and somewhat contentious conversation that helps raise awareness of the risks involved in partaking in such acts. A major emotional twist is about to shake Coronation Street as Dylan Wilson finds himself at the center of one of Weatherfield's most heartfelt storylines. After months of uncertainty, guilt, and difficult decisions, Dylan reaches a life-changing turning point that could redefine not only his own future but also his complicated relationship with Betsy Swain. With emotions running high and loyalties tested like never before, fans are preparing for an episode packed with drama, redemption, and unexpected consequences. Dylan faces his biggest test yet. Ever since Dylan returned to Weatherfield, he's struggled to escape the mistakes of his past. Although he has tried to rebuild his life, trouble has always seemed to follow him. Now, with Betsy caught in an increasingly difficult situation, Dylan realizes that staying silent is no longer an option. The pressure builds as events spiral beyond anyone's control. While some residents believe Dylan will once again make the wrong decision, others quietly hope this could finally be the moment he proves everyone wrong. For the first time in months, Dylan begins asking himself not how to protect himself, but how to protect someone else. That simple change in mindset becomes the biggest turning point of his journey. Betsy finds herself in serious trouble. Betsy has never been afraid to speak her mind, but her latest predicament leaves her feeling more isolated than ever. With difficult choices surrounding her and tensions rising on every side, she desperately needs someone she can trust. Ironically, the last person she expects to step forward is Dylan. Their relationship has never been straightforward. Moments of friendship have often been interrupted by misunderstandings, secrets, and bad timing. Yet when Betsy needs help the most, Dylan refuses to walk away. His decision surprises everyone, including Betsy herself. A decision that changes everything. As the situation reaches breaking point, Dylan is forced to make an impossible choice. Should he stay quiet and protect himself? Or should he tell the truth, knowing it could place his own future in jeopardy? After wrestling with guilt and fear, Dylan finally chooses honesty. It's a decision that instantly changes how several Weatherfield residents see him. For someone who has spent so long trying to outrun his reputation, this moment represents something much bigger than a single confession. It becomes the beginning of redemption. Betsy sees a different side of Dylan. Betsy has often viewed Dylan through the lens of his previous mistakes. She knows he has good intentions but has rarely trusted him completely. However, witnessing Dylan risk everything for the right reasons forces her to reconsider. Instead of the troubled teenager everyone talks about, she begins to see someone genuinely trying to become a better person. That realization creates an emotional shift between them. While romance isn't necessarily on the cards, mutual respect begins replacing suspicion. For viewers, it's one of the most satisfying character developments in recent months. Friends and family react. Dylan's dramatic decision doesn't go unnoticed. His family struggles to process the sudden transformation. Some worry he's putting himself in danger. Others believe this is exactly the kind of maturity they've been hoping to see. Meanwhile, Betsy's loved ones remain cautious. Can Dylan really be trusted? Or is this simply another temporary change before history repeats itself? Those conflicting opinions create fresh tension throughout Weatherfield. Every conversation seems to raise another question. Has Dylan truly changed? Or is everyone allowing themselves to believe what they desperately want to hear? Weatherfield divided. As news spreads, the street quickly becomes divided. Some residents praise Dylan's courage. Others argue that one good deed doesn't erase months of bad choices. The debate grows stronger as more facts emerge. Characters who rarely agree suddenly find themselves on opposite sides. Even those with no direct connection to Dylan begin offering opinions. The storyline highlights one of Coronation Street's greatest strengths, showing how one person's actions can ripple across an entire community. No decision exists in isolation. Every choice affects somebody else. Betsy's emotional conflict. Although grateful for Dylan's support, Betsy still struggles emotionally. Trust isn't something rebuilt overnight. She knows people can promise to change. Actually changing is much harder. Her cautious optimism creates some beautifully written scenes as she attempts to balance gratitude with self-protection. Rather than rushing into forgiveness, Betsy allows herself time to process everything. That realistic approach makes the storyline even more compelling. Dylan finally finds hope. For much of the past year, Dylan has seemed trapped by his own reputation. Every mistake reinforced the idea that people expected the worst from him. Now, for perhaps the first time, he discovers something different. Hope. Not because everyone suddenly forgives him, but because he finally starts believing he can become someone better. It's a subtle yet powerful transformation. Instead of trying to escape consequences, Dylan begins accepting responsibility. That emotional growth could shape his future storylines for months to come. More challenges lie ahead. Of course, this turning point doesn't magically solve every problem. Consequences still remain. Relationships still need repairing. Trust must still be earned. The road ahead won't be easy. In true Coronation Street fashion, redemption comes through consistent actions rather than dramatic speeches. Dylan understands that changing people's opinions may take months, or even years. But at least he's finally walking in the right direction. Fans react to the surprise twist. Soap viewers have already begun discussing Dylan's latest development online. Many believe this marks one of the character's strongest story arcs to date. Others are praising the writers for allowing Dylan to mature gradually rather than transforming him overnight. The storyline feels earned because every emotional beat connects back to earlier struggles. Instead of presenting a perfect hero, Coronation Street continues portraying Dylan as a flawed young man trying to make better choices. That realism has resonated with audiences. A new chapter begins. As Weatherfield continues to deal with the fallout, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Dylan's biggest battle has never been against anyone else. It's been against the version of himself he no longer wants to be. Helping Betsy doesn't erase the past. But it proves the future doesn't have to repeat it. Whether this new beginning leads to stronger friendships, repaired family relationships, or entirely new challenges remains to be seen. What is certain, however, is that Dylan's courageous decision marks one of the most significant turning points in his Coronation Street journey. For Betsy, it restores hope that people really can change. For Dylan, it's proof that redemption isn't about being perfect, it's about making the right choice when it matters most. And for Coronation Street viewers, it promises another emotional chapter filled with heart, tension, and unforgettable drama as Weatherfield watches one of its most troubled young residents fight for a brighter future. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.